I think the thing to remember the most about Jerry and Carol in my eyes is the fact that they're both educators.
Her kids really enjoyed her as a teacher and loved art.
Jerry truly is a storyteller in song.
These are artistic people who don't just do things, but they do it and give it to the community. I met Jerry and Carol Way in January of 1974. We had just moved to town, and I went to join a local church choir, and Jerry and Carol were choir members. At our church, Jerry composed music for the children to sing, led the children's choirs. For celebrations we had at church, Carol would create artwork, paint artwork that we would hang in the church. This was my first sign of these are artistic people who don't just do things, but they do it and give it to the community.
Jerry truly is a storyteller in song. I'm delighted to watch him kind of tell history to his audience with music.
Photographs and faded memories, oh, lead us back to a time so long ago.
We thank Dolores Vedette and the Chippewa County Historical Society for those beautiful, amazing photographs by Alfred A. Bish.
And he also does research to make sure that his information is historically correct.
They have produced plays that have encapsulated the history of our community, and because they have allowed us to see how the lives of the people years ago were speaking in the history of Chippewa Falls, our lives are significantly affected by what we are able to say to our generation, and I believe that'll carry forward into the future as well.
I don't think the Historical Society could have a better spokesperson for the rich history of our area. And I also know that Carol, his artistic wife, adds a lot to each production. And so it's always fun to listen to him tell stories with his music.
When cars were new in 1912, good roads were few and far between. For traveling in a motor car, the drivers had a bold new dream, growing from a grassroots movement out in the wide Midwest. A road to go to Yellowstone, the route would be the best
On the Yellowstone Trail, on the Yellowstone Trail.
I think the thing to remember the most about Jerry and Carol in my eyes is the fact that they're both educators. They both dedicated their entire lives to education. Jerry was a band director, an orchestra director at the McDonald Central High School, and then moved on to be a choir director at Chippewa Falls High School, and then finished his career with 15 years as one of the elementary music teachers here in Chippewa Falls. Carol spent the most of her career as an art teacher in the Catholic school system.
Carol was a lifelong learner. She loved learning herself and just looked for every opportunity to learn new art and new ways of methods of teaching. And so she took that passion for learning to the classroom. And it didn't take me but a few visits to realize that her kids really enjoyed her as a teacher and loved art. I think she had a balance between her family, her relationship with Jerry, her work in the community, with her faith as kind of an umbrella over all of that. And because of that balance, she was able to come to work every day with this awesome, positive attitude. Most often her eyes were just twinkling.
All three of our boys had her as an art teacher. They would say, I don't understand how one person can be so happy all the time.
Jerry was even-tempered as a teacher and director. but he also brought an expectation of quality and I would call a cast iron work ethic. And we really learned as kind of goofy high school students that it was fun to sing and dance and goof around, but it was more fun to make music and really feel like you were doing the best job that you could. And we learned that what that took was breaking a sweat in practice.
Come join the creative writing that's done, such poetry there to be found. Experiences shared and stories are told, a circle of art comes around. Come join in the theater as plays are performed, such actors and blocking and lights. Performed on the stage or seen from the house, there's nothing like opening night.
Before I became a believer in the Heidi Center, Jerry and Carol Way were already involved. Carol and Jerry were up here with crews of people hauling up plaster and dirt and everything else, trying to get things going. I came up here thinking this is never going to work, it's too hard, but fortunately people like them didn't. And they got me involved, they got my family involved, they got a lot of other people in the community involved. Jerry started putting on concerts downtown to raise money to help with the renovation. They weren't the funds we needed, but they were a start. It was something to show the community that yes, we were believers and we were going to go forward. And when the center opened, Jerry and Carol were some of the first people to go and actually put on programs here. For every one of these plays, Carol Way was in the background making sure we had set design, that the lighting was the right color and so forth. And together they have made many successful performances up here, and those performances have been significant fundraisers to keep this place going.
That was Jerry. I mean, he was the principal behind that. And just again, with not a flashy thing, but just very much a commitment to this community.
There is a sense that in the sharing of their gifts, that they are the true servant leaders in our community. By servant leader, I mean someone who is willing to serve first, and then in the process of their serving, they become a leader in the community.